what happens if I can't find a nominator for my national innovation visa? So we have received a lot of approaches, emails from candidates in the past and recently as well, that, for instance, in the past we have candidates who received invitation for the Global Talent Program, but they were not able to find nominator, and they did not ask for help. They suffer in silence, and then that program's abolished. They cannot use the invitation code to lodge a visa application. So that's a huge loss, because for Australia's permanent visa residency, it's a really, really good investment product, right? Now, and then some of the candidates, they say, okay, I'm going to try again for the national innovation visa. I hope they will assess my application again. Now, for Global Talent Program, I have shared with you that if your EOI lodged, but you have not received invitation, and you have not lodged your visa application, the department will not process your EOI application. So you don't need to wait. Don't wait, because they're not going to process it. Doesn't matter how long you lodged. Last year, for 1 year, hoping to be invited? No. Well, they can do that because it was free, right? You submitted expression of interest, nobody invited you, so what do you want to complain? So that is again, for all the visa application, of course, if you receive invitation or you actually lodged in December, lodge your visa application even without invitation though, that your application will be still processed, right? Still processed. So we won't be covering that now. I'm covering candidates who submit a expression of interest under the Global Talent Program, but did not receive invitation, did not lodge a visa application. What they're going to do? My advice is, of course, you have documents prepared already. Some of them are updated, some of them you need time to update it, right? You must approach your National Innovation Visa expression interest again, okay? Bear in mind Form 100, the wording of Form 100 difference. You want to use the new Form 100 to submit your expression interest. Now, for that program, for National Innovation Program, candidate asks, oh, I don't have a nominator now. You actually need to reach out to someone like us who specialize this area. Don't suffer in silence, or don't suffer quietly sitting there and don't want to talk to anyone. So I can't find. You're not connected with anyone in industry, and then the reason because you're probably offshore, overseas. So this is kind of culture barrier. If you're not local and you don't have any influence locally, it's just the human instinct that it just feels very hard to be connected with someone. So you need to find professional locally in Australia who can handle or assist with you to find connections here. Don't suffer in silence, because I know a lot of candidates, when they apply Global Talent Program, they suffered. They didn't do anything, and they didn't find nominator. And then they lodge EOI and they never were invited. Was mainly because that someone else who lodged EOI has a nominator time, so they'll be prioritized, right? So it's really about your effort in finding that. Now, for the National Innovation Visa, again, it is not a mandatory requirement for you to upload a Form 100. It's not, okay? It's really depending on who else lodged at the same time. If everybody lodged EOI form without a nominator, then your chance of success, if we consider the same background, will be very similar to someone else. But if a majority of candidates who lodged EOI with a nominator, but you didn't, your chance of success is definitely less than someone else who had nominated time. That doesn't make sense, right? It's really a chance of success. If you say, is that mandatory? It is not, but why are you applying? You're applying just to increase the chance of success. Why are you asking? Why are you reviewing this video? Why are you searching around? Because you want to increase the chance of success. So my recommendation, especially for the current one, your invitation will be expired after 3 months if you did not lodge a visa application. So if you can't find nominator, easily. You need to find them first. Of course, it won't be in the stage that put you off. You say, oh, I can't find Nominator. I need invitation first. Then I probably find Nominator later. Can I do that? You can. But just you need to update, right? Now for the EOI form, it's like this. So you can provide supporting documents once your EOI is lodged. That's critical part, which means they want to reduce work, because once your EOI it's actually submitted to the form, then you have a reference number, then your application is locked. Okay, you cannot provide supporting document after that point. So once your EOI is submitted, your application is locked. That's it. Okay. Now what happens if you say, okay, oh, I have something else I want to provide 2 months later, 5 months later, or I have some significant growth in my salary or in my company, or I have an investor, things like that. You need to submit a new EOI, and before that, you have to withdraw the post one, right? You don't want 2 live EOIs, okay? 2 live EOIs. So if you have something significant you want to add, okay, something significant, not by increase the salary 33%, that's not enough. Significant. Then you lodge a new EOI. Before that, you withdraw the previous EOI. Some of you may ask, okay, oh, I have been waiting for 3 months. Okay, how am I going to withdraw? Look, if you haven't received invitation, it doesn't matter how long you wait, because the game like this, it's not queuing. Everybody processing time is the same, right? No, it is not. You can see that on the application, on the website, government website, they have priorities. First line of priority, second line of priority, third line of priority, and fourth line of priority. If your information, for instance, you didn't show that evidence of being employable in Australia, so you become a least priority. Doesn't matter how long you wait. It doesn't matter, because you're fourth priority. But now you say, I receive a job offer. I receive some kind of significant evidence about my employment. Now you increase your chance of opportunity to different level of priority. You're likely, so even you launched that application 3 months ago. If your significant you have an investor come to your startup company, then you'll be prioritized. That you'll be the first one to be prioritized, then you'll be picked really quickly. So it doesn't matter, it doesn't. So they are not processing application depend on the date of lodgement. So once you receive an invitation, even that one, it's not based on time of lodgement. That's always a rule and law. I would say this is just happening with immigration. 2 types of people lodge at the same time. They will not receive the same time processing. Okay, they will not, depending on many factors. Where they are now, what kind of passport they hold, what kind of company work. That's not you lodge it today and someone lodged tomorrow. You'll be processed faster. No, you won't. Okay, it's not like that. You have various factors. So it doesn't matter if you're not invited for the first stage. I want you to lodge a new EOI, but withdraw the previous EOI, because it doesn't matter how long you wait. You haven't got an invitation, right? You haven't got one. If you haven't got it, you haven't got it. That's it. Just that it's yes or no. It won't be something like, I might have a chance to be processed if I put it in there. You cannot have 2 EOI at the same time. One person submit 2 times, right? Your EOI form. Okay, now information really about salary. Some of candidates ask us, it's how much do I earn now? The high income threshold, of course, change next year. Next year will be likely to be 195, including superannuation. So we are looking at 200,000 Australian dollar. Now the question will be, oh my God! So different countries have different high income threshold. So we want to really refer to your region, your own industry, and whether you'll be considered high income earner in your region, in your industry. Okay, so consider that. Of course, if you're already earning that, that's brilliant. And the more you earn, that's better. But if you're, for instance, you have kind of a term sheet from investor, now we can actually calculate that as well. So salary wise, this is a kind of guidance. Someone who already met that prioritize. Again, prioritize. It's really not about, because we have candidates who receive permanent visa invitation before they met the income requirement. So this all happened. But of course, if you're already earning that amount of money, it's easier. If you haven't, now the question will be, you're going to demonstrate you're likely to become high income earner in the future. People want to put you into measure. They want to measure you how much weight into the scale. That measurement, it's not just about your age, right? You don't want. But if someone's really young, fairly young, and they're doing startup company, they already attract investors. Now, compared to someone who's older, they attract investors. The way is different. We want a young person to do that. Why? Because that we know that progressive. They are still progressive. They are progressive, and that's a lot of progression for them. If someone 28 years old, then they already have a startup. They already receive investors, and they are on the process of IPO now. Well, of course, government gonna give them permanent visa, because it's easier for us to have young people, and then they, to have this population to do that. If someone though who is more than older than 55, now this case usually we need to, again, if you ask me the question, can I get it? No, again, this is the chance of possibility, right? Chance of possibility. If you reach 55, now some certain countries that you already about retired age. Now, Australian government, do they want in retired people to come here for no reason? Ask for access our Medicare system, also ask pension system? No. So you need to demonstrate one thing, which is critical, that you're not about to retire, right? You can't just say it. You need to show it. How? You need to convince and let people believe what you say. Okay, you have to have this kind of logic behind that to really show that you are not going to retire. So no age limit for national innovation visa, but that it's significantly preference for someone who has been high achiever but a bit younger. However, for some industries, we don't care, right? Someone working in the railway, right? Tunneling skill, engineer in working that 35 years. Now, do I care? No. If someone is really working in this for such a long time, engineering, so that it's his experience, her experience is uncomparable. So you can't find someone locally easily to replace the person, to find this person experience. Doesn't matter how old is that candidate, no. But you need to demonstrate that you're still working on that.